Hello and good afternoon. So the weather's not cooperating, but there is a silver lining. Eric does count this as a shower, so it is a beautiful location nevertheless, and it's a beautiful day and a beautiful thing that we all gathered to witness. Today's ceremony does not mark the beginning of Eric and Maria's relationship, nor will it likely change how they view one another. No, instead, today is a celebration of the relationship that these two individuals have forged and grown in. These remarkable people that I've been blessed to know both up close. They have learned from each other and when needed, leaned on each other. These two have become highly educated masters in their fields, dedicated family members, and even better friends. Eric and Maria, our presence here today is an affirmation of the support and shared joy that the universe has brought you two together, and we have all been so lucky to observe. I asked Eric and Maria to write me about the history of their relationship so that we could hear in their own words their story. And so here's Eric's version of how they started. Maria and I met at Westchester. At first, we seemed to keep barely missing each other. At my friend's, her roommate's apartment, I only caught a glimpse of her. At Halloween, dressed as an old man, I bumped into her again. Before I could lay my awkwardly charming moves on her, she was gone. Finally, I saw her at a bar. My friends pulled me aside and mentioned that this girl may not be available. I didn't care. I was enjoying talking to her. After about 2 minutes of talking to her, I knew everything that I would need to know about her. Camp. She was pretty, smart, down to earth, rocking flannel, camp, and I really, really liked her. Now here is Maria's version. The first night I met Eric, he was dressed as an old man. It was actually a good impression because right away it told me that even when he gets older, he'll still be cute. The first thing he said to me was, "Hey, I know your roommates. I've been in your apartment." Which was super creepy, and my friends and I left almost immediately. Luckily, we got a second chance about a month later. I was out with friends, and he was out with his friends. Our friends knew each other, so they were talking, and I started to talk to him. When my friends and I left, he followed us to Barnaby's, where we spent the rest of the night dancing. That night changed up the joke that nothing good ever happens at Barnaby's. He walked me back to my friend's house, where I was staying, and asked me to go to dinner the next night. When I wasn't free, he said he'd call me after Thanksgiving break. He never did. He swears he texted me, but I never got it. Thankfully, I had the balls to text him, and we went on the most epic first date. Our first date was a 7-hour adventure that brought us from dinner to bowling, to playing ping pong in his basement, to dancing, to eventually kissing on the roof of the docks. And one of my favorite facts from early on was that Eric sold his textbooks to pay for that first date. Eric and Maria also told me their favorite story together. Maria tells, our first time going away together, we were supposed to go snowboarding, but it rained and the mountain shut down. The arcade we planned to go to as a backup was closed that night, and every restaurant in the area was closed. But Eric turned everything around with a meal pieced together from Wawa, and we watched movies in a blanket fort. The weekend we got engaged, we were camping in a treehouse during a polar vortex. And Eric kept the fire going all night to keep us warm. Everything we do together is a crazy adventure. Eric's story goes, one of my favorite stories is our cross-country road trip to drop Maria at grad school. This was a very symbolic trip, embarking on a long journey, not quite sure what's out there, but doing it together. We had only been together for about a year, and she was about to leave for 2. Only a few months into our relationship, Maria told me she would be going to Arizona. I remember thinking, well, I'm doing long distance then, and we'll make it work. In a young relationship, we took the opportunity to actually get stronger as a couple, one Skype call at a time. A good relationship builds upon the strengths of both individuals, and so that the shortcomings of the individual are protected by the ability of their partner. These can be small, reminding that it's your friend's birthday, picking up a dish that was left on an end table, and they can be large, such as easing one another's anxieties or supporting them when their career is uncertain. Or, as it is with the groom's biggest shortcoming, personal hygiene. When you work as a team, you are stronger than you can ever be alone. This does not make you any less of individuals. You are not defined by your relationship status, but you can be described by them. When the right one comes along, you will be heard saying things like, I'm not me without you. Home is where you are. I love us. And a whole lot of other Hallmark card quotes. The right marriages have the perfect blend of mushy feelings and pragmatic knowledge of just who you're married to. Whenever I feel too swept up in these hopeless, romantic feelings myself, I find flatulence helps. Or as a wise man once said, after the